guys, it's me. It is Carolina Rioja, and it is my turn to do the brown bag assignment. So I wanted to start off with my parents who are immigrants from South America. They were born and raised in Bogota, Colombia, which is the capital of Bogota, or Bogota is the capital of Colombia. When they first got married, their early 20s, and this happened in the early 60s, they decided they want to come to America and start their life. So they knew somebody, a Colombian guy over in New York City, who was going to help them get acclimated, find jobs, and a place to live. But I actually had an uncle, my mom's oldest brother, who was already living in Los Angeles, and he was able to convince them last minute to come out to LA, and that's what they did. So last minute, I should have been born and raised in New York City, but instead I grew up in Angelino, and that's where my journey begins. So I was actually born and raised in Hollywood, California. I'm the youngest of 4 kids. I have 2 older brothers, 1 sister, and we lived in the city of Culver City. My parents, we had a 2-bedroom apartment. My siblings and I slept in 1 bed, 1 room, and my parents lived in the other room. And I actually grew up not too far from Desilu Productions, where I Live Lucy, the show, was filmed in Culver City. And also very close was, I want to say, Paramount Pictures movie studio. So Culver City, being the movie capital of the world, is where I grew up. That was my backyard. It wasn't until I was 7 years old that my parents decided to buy a house in Lakewood, California, which is one of the suburbs in LA County. And I grew up a tomboy. I had 2 older brothers who loved playing sports, and I have they had a bunch of friends who were always playing out in front of the house. So I was that little pesky sister who wanted to always, play and learn and have fun. And so they let me. They were really cool with me. The friends were. I learned how to, play football, throw a football. I learned how to play baseball, throw double plays, and got very competitive as a young kid. So I always played sports growing up. And one of my claim to fame was I was a quarterback for junior high flag football. I was actually their quarterback, second string. And we were so close to winning the game, we just needed 1 more touchdown. So they put me in. I threw a Hail Mary for a touchdown and won the game. And that was it, game over. It was pretty awesome. So going from there, I played sports from elementary, junior high, high school, and just, always being around guys. My family, very male dominated. I have a bunch of uncles, a lot of male cousins. And it's kind of ironic because I end up in these male dominated industries. But I think for me, it's been very easy to navigate because I kind of grew up in the environment. My father is a painting contractor as well as my uncles, and I have cousins. So it's almost like the family trade to be in construction. And I ended up working at Grainger as a temp at one point. I worked through a temp agency, worked part-time, then I got hired full-time. 15 years later, I was able to jump around within the organization. I worked, inside sales, or actually counter, warehouse, outside sales. I kind of jumped and kept learning and growing, but it was kind of disappointing after 15 years of service. I wanted to keep moving up with Grainger, but because I didn't have a 4-year degree, I was never considered and always passed for the job. So out of frustration, I decided to go back to school. And I got a 4-year degree going to school at night and on weekends. And that's when, and Travis was my boss at one point at the Anaheim Grainger, really close to Disneyland. That's when he got recruited to Omni Cable, and a few years later he recruited me, and that's how I ended up here at Chris Tech. So for me, my favorite things to do is I enjoy baseball, watching baseball. I was that kid, since I was a tomboy, I'd always harass my mom to take me to go see these baseball players when it was like autograph day. They were like at car dealerships or gift shops, and my poor mother had to, take me. But I have seen really great photos and autographs. I'll share those with you as well. I got a photo with Mike Scioscia his rookie year, and that was back in 1981, and I was probably 13 years old then, and just loved the sports to the point where I was a huge Derek Jeter fan. So I've even been to Yankee Stadium, the old one before they tore it down, and then the new one not too long ago. I was there a few years ago. So that's what we do with my family, my kids and I. We go to different baseball stadiums. But there was a time where I was actually a young mom. I had 2 kids. I have a daughter who is now 27 and a son who's 22. But at one point I was a single mom for a few years, and that was a very challenging time in my life. It actually taught me a lot about myself, a lot about challenges, overcoming them, and just never letting fear getting in the way. I was able to co-parent with my ex-husband, got remarried, and I've been married now for 15 years. My husband Tony is a Puerto Rican, Italian, Argentine, so we kind of share the South American side together. And one of my favorite things I enjoy doing is dancing, but I love dancing to the Latin music. So my favorite is salsa music, dancing salsa, merengue, cumbias. I've even taught my kids how to dance that, so it's kind of neat when we have our family get-togethers. My kids are really good partners with each other. And for the most part, it's been great living out here in Southern California. So if you guys are ever in the area, I only live about 10 minutes away from Disneyland. If you were ever in the area, please let me know. I'd love to be your tour guide because I got really good at it when we have family coming over from Colombia and Puerto Rico and all that. So I hope you enjoyed my story, and we'll see you next time.
Crank up the Beach Boys, baby. Don't let the music stop. We gonna ride it till we just can't ride it no more. From the side bay to the valley, from the west side to the east side, everybody very happy, 'cause the sun is shining all the time. Looks like another perfect day. I love LA. We love it. I love LA. We love it. We love it.
Somebody might have a shot at pulling away in a brand new car. Let's go. Give me Carino. Give me Johnny. Top 7 answers on the board. Here we go. Name something a mom would be shocked to hear her baby ask for on a baby monitor.
Tattoo.
A ta- Alcohol.
We love LA. I love LA. We love it. I love LA. We love it. I love LA.
Oh wait, you guys, you're still here? But it's over already. Well, since you're here, I have one more thing to tell you. This is a Statue of Liberty.